Alan Griffith here. I'm near my workshop in beautiful Crystal Springs, Mississippi. Today we're doing a little test. We're testing just how accurate a Mini Draco can be, which I know Mini Dracos are not known for their accuracy. That's both a problem of application and design. By application, I mean they're usually used for point shooting at Circle K, right? By design, I mean the manufacturer understands their target audience, which is either guys that are going to be point shooting at Circle K or guys that are gonna do a Gucci'd out full-blown build, change just about everything about it. So it does not come with a way to attach a stock. The foregrip is plywood, it's ass. The sights come broken. My sights came broken because, like I said, they know half of their target audience is not even gonna use them. But a Mini Draco with a proper optic mount and a actual good way to hold it can be quite accurate. I hope to prove that today. Now, usually what dudes do is they put a brace or a stock on their AK pistol, and I don't really want to do that. At least not with this one, because I travel a lot. If I travel, I can't take it with me because you have to send a letter to the ATF saying that you're crossing state lines with it. If I put a stock on it or a folding brace, that's a lot of bulk, and you can't pack it as well. You can't carry it as well. What I designed is a Bullpup Mini Draco conversion. These parts are of my own design. I machined them from scratch. I moved the trigger group up to the front. So what this allows me to do is keep it aimable and still very compact. Now on the back, I have put nothing on it that can conceivably be considered a stock. There's already 2 companies that have produced Bullpup AK pistols that are still legally pistols. They even got letters from the ATF saying that it is a legal build. You can see I have nothing on the back that could conceivably be a stock. I added a leather sling so that it can be slung under the shoulder. I'm not gonna go get my jacket right now because it's hot, but it perfectly disappears underneath the jacket, deploys in about half a second. So you have 7.62 accuracy and range and power in probably the largest platform that you could possibly conceal effectively. Now I know you're gonna say there is a company doing that for full-size Dracos. It's a little too big. You have to wear one of those massive coats to cover it. It's a bit ridiculous. As far as I know, nobody's done it for a Mini Draco. Let me tell you what's on this thing. I have a 20 round Magpul mag. Again, Bullpup conversion is my own parts. I have a Midwest handguard and optic mount. It is very solid. It's attached to the barrel and it indexes on the bottom of the gas block. It's very tight, very solid, gives me great accuracy. I have a compact Yotech holographic optic, and I have this compensator, which is my own design. Totally handmade, very tough and rugged stainless steel. This thing's not going to blast apart like I've seen some compensators do on short-barreled rifles or rifle caliber pistols, excuse me. This is not a muzzle brake. It is a compensator. It ports all the gas it can upwards, pushing your muzzle down. This is not your daddy's slant brake either. I took what I learned making high-performance pistol compensators and I applied it here. Having ports of this style does the best job to push your gas directly 90 degrees upwards, perpendicular to the bore. A slant brake and oversized compensator ports push your gas, instead of this way, it's going more like that way at a 45-degree angle, which helps. It's very simple, but it's not as effective. To get the best gas porting, you're gonna need port design like this. Now, it is very tough stainless steel. I finished it to have a golden color with small hints of purple. Very nice. I'm gonna be making more of these. It is much more difficult to machine these than I thought. Stainless steel is, I'm not gonna cuss, it's very tough to machine. So anyways, let me go make sure this thing's sighted in, and then we'll start measuring real accuracy. Okay, y'all, I'm now downrange. Before I do the test, I want to explain that this is not an ideal test. Okay, there's some variables that are going to tamper with the results. They're not going to be perfect. You may get better, you may get worse results. I am at roughly 60 yards. I can't perfectly measure it, so we're going to work off of that distance and calculate the MOA. This is not a magnified optic, so I might be slightly off the center of the target and not know it. My right eye is a little blurry because I got metal in it once. That's another issue. And I do not have the most stable rest for the gun. So with that in mind, keep that in mind going forward. It's not an exact test, but it's going to give us an idea of what the Draco is capable of. Let's go. Yeah, this is a little bit better than a pistol. It is tearing up that plate, tearing up that iron, tearing up the earth, tearing up everything. It's tearing it up. The beavers around here are not going to be happy. All right, gonna put 5 shots on target and see what results we get. All right, take 2. Gonna try to hold it a bit steadier, see if we can get a better grouping. Let's see how it goes. All right, we're back at the target now. I've got my gunsmith measuring tape. Let's see what we got. This right here, I believe is a flyer. I think because I pulled it, I was holding it kind of wobbly for a minute there. But these 4 shots are pretty tight grouping. I mean, for what it is, that is 5-inch, that is 4 15/16. Let's say it's about a 5-inch grouping at 60 yards. In a little bit after these tests, I'll calculate that, see what the MOA is. I'm gonna run this one more time and see what results we get. I'll try to figure out a better way to hold it. All right, guys, back again, measuring for the 2nd time. We're getting a group that is about 7 inches. Worse than the last. Now, I don't know if I pulled those, because remember, it's not a very solid setup. You saw that back there. I don't have a chair, I don't have a table. I just do not have those right now. So it's not the most stable setup, and I do not have a magnified optic, so I can't tell if the center of my sight is dead center on the target. Correct me if I'm measuring this wrong, but we're getting a 7-inch group. We're gonna go with that. These ones that are tighter, we're just gonna go with the ones that might be flyers, just to be safe. So 7 inches. I recalculated the distance. It's actually 70 yards downrange. I'm gonna calculate how long that is real quick, or I'm gonna calculate the MOA real quick. All right, a 7-inch pattern at roughly 71 yards is 9.86 MOA. Ouch, that's nasty. However, it is a lot better than a handgun. This is not intended to beat a rifle by any means. It's intended to beat a handgun. It's the biggest possible thing that I can conceal carry. And it's still a pistol, so it is still legal to carry. Also, I am a licensed armed guard in the state of Tennessee, and I am not qualified to carry a rifle or a shotgun, only a pistol, which this is. So conceivably, I could carry this on guard duty. Now, for a second, I want to talk about why I built this thing. For a long time, I really wanted a concealable PDW, something that's legal to carry, concealable, and more effective than a handgun. Now, I've looked at a bunch of options. I even considered getting a Serbu Super Shorty or making a clone, but I don't think you're allowed to carry a SBS or an AOW off of your property. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Now, I looked at pistol-based PDWs, like Glocks with flux braces back when those were available. And I thought out in my head that I have about 15 inches of real estate here. And whatever I choose can't be over 15 inches, preferably quite a bit under that. Now, I looked at Glocks with braces, and I figured the best setup would be a 10mm Glock, so I'm getting the best ballistic performance, and it's still relatively small and light. But I realized, just off the top of my head, a Mini Draco is about 15 or 16 inches. And I figured, well, 7.62s are quite a bit powerful and cheaper than the most expensive 10mm loads you can get. The whole build would probably cost about the same or less than a Glock with a flux brace. I figured, well, how do you make a Mini Draco carryable and usable? I didn't want to take a stock Draco, put it down in my pants and put a hoodie over it, goofy stuff like that. So I thought, okay, I could put a folding brace on it, or maybe SBR it and get it stock, but you can't legally carry an SBR. So I never really wanted an AK, never really wanted a Bullpup either, but combine the two together and you get something carryable that's compact, still usable, relatively accurate. This is quite a bit better than I could do with a pistol, I'm sure. Now, I do not plan on making more conversion kits like this until I get automatic machinery. Right now, I'm doing entirely manual machinery, so this would take a very long time, and it's very expensive to produce things like that. However, if y'all are interested in something like this, let me know in the comments and I'll consider making more. Now, does this thing serve its purpose? Yes. As crazy as it is, I've carried it around a few times. I do not live in areas dangerous enough to warrant carrying one of these all the time. I don't got ops. There are not dudes looking for me at the time being. So I don't really need to be carrying this thing. However, I wanted it if I happen to need it. So, for my efforts, I have a concealable 7.62 that is legal, pretty accurate, pretty damn powerful, and deploys pretty fast as well. So you can see, disappears like it's not even there. And I have a 7.62 on tap whenever I want. It's pretty damn nice. Now, if you were to do something like this, compensators are great. It's what I do. I make and sell compensators. The compensator is incredibly effective. It's kind of hard to tell on video, but I'm getting no vertical recoil. I'm talking no vertical recoil at all. That short barrel reduces the velocity muzzle energy of the projectile, gets that kick down a little. However, with that shorter barrel, I'm also getting more gas out of the ports, so the compensator's working harder. So I'm getting straight up no vertical recoil on this thing. That's with no gas tuning. This thing's probably very overgassed, but it's running great.